everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Kratom Kingdom for all the Kratomites out there. Um, this video today is going to be about why you should take Kratom, and or why Kratom. Why not Kratom? What are the benefits of Kratom versus the? For one thing, my main reason for taking Kratom or using Kratom is it's natural. It's 100% a leaf from a tree, and especially where I get it from in Indonesia, it's organic. There's no pesticides or herbicides on it. It's all just clean. They go out there and hand pick the leaves off the tree and grind it by hand themselves. So it's natural. Number two, there's never really been any case of somebody actually passing away just due to Kratom or having liver failure or kidney failure. There's anecdotal evidence that might point towards that, saying, well, I have a friend that died after taking Kratom. And then later you find out that friend also had a opiate addiction. And so it's too hard to... In all cases, there's always been extenuating circumstances around it. And it's been lab tested to some extent. It's not 100% lab tested yet, which once it is, and it's going to be labeled and classified and harder to get to. It'll be more like cannabis, where, right now is the perfect time to get into Kratom because it is easy to get and easy to take. Another reason I take Kratom is because I can control how much of it to take. It replaces my hardcore psychiatric medications that have terrible side effects for me. And honestly, I can't think of any side effects of Kratom except for maybe constipation, and sometimes it makes me a little jittery because the stimulating aspect of it. But I'll take I get that from coffee too. But it's not like sucking crack cocaine through a straw, and it's not like sucking opiates through a straw with a tinfoil. It's really more taking a powder, and I really push the tea method. And I really push the idea of making a tea with it, just because you can say, okay, I'm going to put 5 grams of powder in my tea, or I'm going to put 10 grams, or whatever. I'm going to have 2 5-gram cups. And then if you find that's too much, then next time you could make it 3 grams, or a third of a teaspoon, or whatever. So it's really easy to monitor. It's really easy to get right now. You can get it from several online vendors, which are pretty good. And you can also get it directly from Indonesia if you know people. But it's also socially acceptable, where other things aren't so socially acceptable. Like marijuana still isn't totally socially accepted, even though it will be now that it's legalized in all 50 states. I have a feeling it's going to be no different than alcohol. California is a perfect example. You can go to the corner store and buy a little baggie of it and enjoy it on your front porch and not feel dirty or scared or whatever, or be labeled by it. There's no stigma with taking Kratom. It's not like, oh, you're doing drugs. It's oh, you're having a cup of herbal tea. Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. And what are some other reasons for taking it? It's natural. It's non-stigmatizing. It doesn't have. There's really no negative effects of it. And the negative side effects there are to it, there are remedies to help it. If it makes you feel nauseous, I've had really good experiences taking it and straining it through a coffee filter. Just put the powder in a coffee filter and run it through your coffee maker and let it steep for however long you want. But that keeps the powder out of your stomach, which would keep which would keep you from getting nauseous from the powder itself, keep you from getting constipation, because the actual organic matter that I get from just taking a cup of free powder tea is a lot. There's a lot of kratom in my cup. And on YouTube, I can still sip kratom on the screen and not get cut, or canceled, because it is a legal substance and there is nothing wrong with it. So, I suggest, if you're going to take kratom, start with a smaller dose, and then build up to where you feel. I've gotten to a point now where I take so much of it. I'm trying to get to a point in my own self-awareness where when I feel good enough, I can stop and just enjoy it for a while. Like right now, I feel good enough. I feel awake. I feel no pain, no physical pain, and I feel a little bit of stimulation. I'm a little shaky. So I can keep sipping and get even more, getting to the point of where I'm almost drunk or intoxicated from it. But I'm trying to avoid that, because I want to save money by not drinking so much of it, because I go through pounds of it a month. And too bad we don't have a bunch of kratomites that live around me. We could have kratom parties. I used to be a part of this yerba mate culture, where kind of the same thing, but mate was a bush from Brazil, I believe. And we used to all sit around and share a gourd in a circle. And I could see that happening with kratom. If you get a lot of like-minded people. That's why going to a kratom bar is a good idea, because then you get to meet other people in the culture and pass off good ideas and bad ideas. It's a little expensive in a kava bar, though. A cup of kratom can cost up to $10 a glass, which to me is absolutely criminal. It's doing no good for the community, and it's just robbing people, because it's not that expensive to get. I'm actually one of those weirdos that likes the taste of kratom. The way I make it with my Crystal Light lemonade mix, I enjoy the taste. It gives me this little tangy on the back of my tongue. And having had a stroke, half of my tongue doesn't work, so I don't taste a lot. So having something that tastes so bad, and finding a way to make it taste better. Sorry, my email's going crazy. So anyway, I'm gonna stop it at this point, and if you think of any more good ideas or good reasons to take kratom, throw them in the comments. People read the comments and get good ideas and bad ideas. If you've had any bad experiences with it, I want to know why. So this is the greatest community I could have ever imagined for, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe to it, because it is a good channel with a lot of helpful information on kratom usually. I've been throwing some of my personal vlogs in there just because I'm going through struggles and tribulations, and it's therapeutic for me to be able to talk to a large community of people online about my psychiatric issues relating to my stroke. Or the stroke, not my stroke. Well, I guess it was my stroke, but the stroke, which is a horrible, horrible thing to have to deal with. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Love you all.